One of the biggest questions in all of Diablo Immortal is what is the drop rate of legendary items or set items? In fact, it's so popular of a question, I myself even asked this question to the dataminer months ago because everyone kept asking me and I didn't have an answer for it. But fast forward to today, not only do we have a calculator to determine these actual odds for us, but we have a full breakdown of the probability calculator. We have an image spreadsheet to show it all to you, and we're going to explain all of this for you today. But before we get into the legendary drop rate, we got to talk about one other legendary product today. Today's video is sponsored by Gemstone Legends, an epic RPG match 3 style game. You're going to have many adventures and tactical battles ahead of you. This game is made by RPG enthusiasts for RPG enthusiasts, and they combine many of genres into one style of game. Also pay attention to how good the reviews are in both app stores. You can download and try the game for absolute free using the link in the description or the QR code and receive an amazing starter pack. We've got puzzle style elements, but we also have hero collectors with more than 200 heroes from 8 different factions and 5 different tiers. There's common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary. Moreover, every hero has a unique set of skills which can be a game changer for a strategy for each battle. During the puzzle battles, use the epic combo attacks in your tactical sense, solve match 3 puzzles, and beat powerful monsters to build your empire. And we've got dragons. Who doesn't like dragons? You can even bring your personal dragon ally to the battle. How cool is that? Gather clans of heroes and start an epic puzzle adventure in the high fantasy RPG open world. Fight in PvP and align with other dragon riders to compete in guild wars. Also, join the Discord channel to be up to date. You can find me in-game under the nickname Darth Micro. This is your chance now. Download the game for free on both Android and iOS and play with me. Use the link in the description or scan the QR code to receive a special starter pack with 500,000 coins, 300 gems, 10 mana, and 10 healing elixirs, and a 4-star hero. Thank you so much to Gemstone Legends for sponsoring this channel. So this is no Tams down. This is actually not the same data miner that we all know and love. This is a second shooter in the grassy knoll. This is sort of the Robin to the Batman. So we have sort of this dynamic duo evolving, which honestly for the community is pretty fantastic. Now, if you actually want to use their calculator, the way it works is you just type in like, oh, my Paragon level is this, the server Paragon level is this, you know, plus or minus exactly whatever this is, and then it's going to show you a breakdown of all the calculations of how this actually works, what your odds are for each one of these different types of drops, etc. Now, this is a little bit in the weeds and can be kind of complicated to understand right off the bat. So if you just want to know how this actually works and what the numbers are, that's what this chart is for, which I'm going to break down for you now. This is where it starts to make sense. This is effectively the breakdown chart. Here's how exactly it works. At the bottom, you can see the stats if you're exactly server Paragon level. If you are above server Paragon level, it is the same stats as if you are server Paragon level. You'll notice an 82% chance to get like the base normal legendary, 15% chance to get like an exceptional of that base 2-drop legendary. There's a 2% chance to get a 3 low variant of the triple drop. And then there's a 1% chance to get an exceptional of the 3, like the best of the best of the best. This effectively means that when you are server Paragon level or higher, 1 out of 100 legendaries or 1% of your legendaries will be like the triple row that you're looking for. What's exceptionally interesting about this, however, is that as you go lower and lower on the server Paragon, farther away where you get the boosted drop rates. Like you can see, you get 250% increased drop rates at 41 server Paragon below. It actually increases how often you get the lower quality legendaries and decreases your drop rate of the exceptional legendaries. Now, 2 things come to mind why this could be. One, it could be a balance mechanic where it's like, yes, you get more legendaries because you're behind, and realistically what you need is just to get the drops of whatever the new hell difficulty you are in. They don't have to be exceptional, and that way you just have enough combat rating to continue the progress. And it also allows people that are Paragon level or above to have a reason to actually have hope for triple exceptionals. If you were below the server Paragon and getting triple exceptionals higher, there would be an argument to be made, I'm just going to be below server Paragon for literally all the time. It's factually better. So this might be a balance mechanic. I'm more inclined to think it's one other thing though. If you actually look at this, 250% of 0.4, like if you 2.5 times that 0.4, that becomes exactly 1%. So what this math actually means is that if you're farming daily, both the person who's way below server Paragon and the person that's at Paragon, if they're farming the same amount of time per day, they're getting the same amount of triple stat, top of the line legendaries. Because I think the reality is this is for scarcity of these items, these triple stat legendaries. It's not like it's all equal. It's 0.4% on purpose because those triple stats are the reason to grind. They're the dopamine hits and they're the strongest item in the game. So what they want is this to be more, no, it's time based, not necessarily how many monsters you killed base. So that's why they have it at 250% 0.4, so that the people that are getting the boost are only getting those triple drop rates exactly the same as the people all the way down here. And you can see the percentages matches that math. This actually isn't like a terrible way to manage this in my own personal opinion, because if you have way more scrap legendaries, I guess you need those to level up your stuff anyway. I will say it does kind of relieve me a little bit to know that there is actually somewhat of a benefit to, or not even a benefit, but at a minimum, not a massive detriment to being below server paragon level, knowing that really going for the top combat rating push is mathematically still the same or better, because now you have higher server paragon level and you're matching the level even higher. So your legendaries that drop have higher stats based upon your paragon level. So it's mathematically better is what I'm saying, to still be pushing paragon. Like you're not losing anything. However, the one thing that you could argue you're losing by being below or higher than server paragon level is if you're below server paragon level, you're getting technically more legendaries, so they're getting more essences and more scrap. This is something we've covered before, where I mentioned if you're below server paragon, you're probably going to max out your essence mastery before anyone else, just because of the sheer amount of duplicates. So that is technically one advantage, but once you've maxed your mastery, it doesn't really matter too much. So if your plan is to go for every single class and max all their masteries, just keep below server paragon for a little while just to get the boosted drop rate if you want to. But keep in mind while you're doing that when you actually look at these here, they are scaling probabilities, meaning you would have to maintain 41% or 41 levels below in order to keep the maximum 250%. That's too far below in my personal opinion, and it's too large of a detriment against the gear, as gear is based upon your paragon level. So it's probably better just to farm like normal. Now, there will be a link in the description as well as a pinned comment if you would like to use this legendary calculator or read the Reddit post, etc. And shout out to the data miners, both notams down as well as dataminearpg, for servicing the community consistently since the game's launch with lots of information. Thank you guys for bringing this to light, as I had no other way really of getting this information. I appreciate that. With all that being said, consider liking this video if you found it helpful or at least entertaining, or subscribe if you ever want to see me and my content again. The subscription helps me out significantly.